Good evening, YouTube. Let's get ready and make another bicycle shit show. So this here is a 1992 Gazelle Special with rod brakes that I tried to fix up last summer. Let's see. I replaced the tires and I pressure washed the whole bicycle. I cut off a lock that was stuck because the key was lost. And I threw out some other parts that were no longer needed and took it for a test ride. And then I discovered that there's something wrong with the rear hub.
Alright, now I need to climb without shifting.
It probably has a broken ball bearing. The broken ball bearings in this Sturmey Archer AB 3-speed I can replace. That shouldn't be too hard. But unfortunately this bicycle has a bigger problem. For some reason the seat post is totally frozen up inside the frame. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but over here there's room between the frame and the seat post. It somehow got bent towards the outside. I have no idea what happened here, but the result is that the seat post is completely stuck, and I've tried everything to get it free. But yeah, no luck so far. And to be honest, I'm no longer going to try it because, well, the life of this bicycle is basically over. I just condemned it to a parts bicycle. Well, it was always going to be a parts bicycle, but because of a visiting friend last summer, I tried to fix this bicycle up. Unfortunately, I failed. So the other day, Velocipedium showed a Gazelle Maxinet with an external seat post on his channel.
It's one of the most bizarro bicycle accessories I've ever seen. What looks like a piece of scaffolding pipe.
It was kind of interesting, and it would have fixed my issue with this seat post. But yeah, unfortunately I don't have one of those, but I do have one too many bicycles, so this one will have to go. I'm going to try just for fun and see if I can hammer this seat post down. So far I have only tried to hammer the seat post out, but yeah, that wasn't very successful. I think it moved, but I'm not sure. I will have to check the recordings. But yeah, this bolt here is completely loose. This plastic part just fell out of the left pedal. No problem, because I need to take off the left crank arm anyway, because the one on my Gazelle Solide is fucked up. It somehow worked itself loose and I needed to get home, and then the square tapered hole got fucked up, so now it needs another crankset. And that's what this parts bicycle is for. So far I've already taken off the dynamo to fix a problem with my Sparta bicycle, and I've taken off the rear piece of the chain case because it was missing on the Gazelle Maxinet that I fixed up last summer. So now that I have condemned this bicycle to my blue scrap metal container, I should probably tell you that some parts will get a second life in one of my other bicycles. Let's see, the wheels, they have nice stainless steel spokes, so those will go to my 1990 Gazelle Solide. It will also get the 3-speed hub, because the one that it currently has some problems with first gear. There is lots of wear on the planetary gears and also the ring gear. The mudguards will go to my unknown Gazelle with a Sturmey Archer 5-speed, because the mudguards that it currently has are kind of rusty, and this frame has a almost matching color. Other than that, I think I will keep some rod linkage for my Gazelle Solide. my black Gazelle 5-speed might also get this carrier, because it is nice and doesn't have any rust. But most of the other parts can go into the blue scrap metal container. Yeah, it's kinda sad, but it's a bike eat bike world. I placed the bicycle upside down, so it will be a little bit easier to slaughter, and I will start with the front wheel. So now that I'm taking a closer look to the front wheel, or to these spokes, I'm starting to think that these are not stainless. They are starting to rust slightly, although they still are a lot nicer than the spokes in my Gazelle Solide. The spokes are also magnetic, although certain types of stainless steel are magnetic, but I don't think this is stainless steel. Yeah, too bad, but my Gazelle Solide will definitely get this this wheel, because it also has problems with the front drum brake. It keeps making noises, even though I did open it up and clean out the drum brake. I actually removed a whole lot of brake dust. But I'm starting to think that these more modern drum brakes without any asbestos, I'm starting to believe that they just suck. And that's the first part that I'm taking off tonight. Let's go to the rear. My Gazelle Solide will definitely get this solid aluminium kickstand. It will be a nice upgrade from that stamped piece of steel that is, well, basically crap. This thing is a lot better. It is mounted rather close to this rod brake linkage, but it shouldn't be a problem. Now let's move on to the rear wheel. These Schwalbe Marathon tires will be a nice upgrade for my Gazelle Solide, although the Continental tires that it currently has aren't too bad. They are definitely not worn. Oh, and I also need one of these axle nuts, because a while ago I fucked up the other one, or the original one. For some reason the thread got damaged and it is no longer usable. Oh, and these plastic chain tensioners might also be a lot better than the ones that are currently on my Gazelle Solide. They were a little bit broken or damaged, but still usable. But these might be a lot better. Come on. Why are they stuck? Don't be difficult. Come on. Got it. Maybe this is how the original chain tensioners on my Gazelle Solide got damaged. They are kind of difficult to remove. Got it. And now I should be able to take out the wheel after I have let the air go, because it is rubbing against the mudguard. Yeah, there it is. one wheel for my Gazelle Solide. Let's remove the chain case so I can remove the crank arms, because those I really need. Damn, now I'm getting dirty hands. That wasn't the plan for tonight. God damn it. I hate chain cases. I hate them. Ow! It's pinching my finger. The bastard. And now I can try and cut up my fingers on this stupid bling piece or trim piece. Well, it took a while, but the chain case has been removed. Now I can take off the crank arms. And here comes my crank puller. And the thread inside this crank arm looks pretty clean. That sometimes isn't the case. Here we go. Hopefully this thing will not be too difficult. But I don't think so. It already feels good. And I think, yeah, I know it is already loose. This dirty chain should go into the blue scrap metal container. And this, well, the teeth on this chain ring still look usable. They are probably better than the ones on my Gazelle Solide. Let's try to repeat this trick with this €2 coin. Maybe I can save this plastic piece after I squirted in some WD-40. But I got my doubts. Yeah, that is not coming out. At least not in one piece. Worthless euro coins. The other day I noticed that the local bank had closed the ATM machine. The bastards. I really hate banks. They are the most evil organizations in this world. We really should do something about them. And of course, it's always a good idea to first remove the axle bolt. Just saying, it's a good idea. But sometimes, yeah, you just don't think and try to act in front of the camera. And usually that means screwing things up. Let's try and screw in the crank puller again. What do you know? It's very easy. After all, you just need to follow the right procedure. Hopefully this side will come off just as easy. And I think it is going to come off. It already feels like it's coming off. And there it is. A little bit of oxidation. I wonder if I can take out this bottom bracket. It sounds like it is rubbing against this plastic cover. Well, that's loose. Can it screw off? How does this work? I think the cartridge is still okay. It is just rubbing against this plastic piece here. If anybody knows how to take off one of these pressed in bottom brackets or pressed in cartridges without destroying it, please put it in the comments below. And I guess this is some kind of cover. Yeah, there it is. Huh. The axle still feels fine, and I would really like to save this cartridge for my other bicycle. It would be nice to have one in stock, or one for spares. And this kind of looks like some sort of industrial standard bearing. Not sure. First time I'm looking at this. I should also save this brake linkage for my Gazelle Solide. It isn't rusty at all. It looks almost brand new. Time to take off the mud guards for my black Gazelle with 5-speed Sturmey Archer. And these mud guards still look almost new, not a speck of rust, unlike the ones that the bicycle currently has. They are very rusty. I should cut off this wire, because I will probably have to join the wires over here when I install this mudguard. That's plenty of lead to join everything back together. And there's the first mudguard. And I might spray this black, because this color isn't really matching the black Gazelle frame. But yeah, to be honest, I do not really care. Yeah, still looks almost brand new. And it is well, almost 30 years old. With the axle gone, this mudguard is only being held in place with this one fastener at the top of the fork, and it is kind of hard to turn because there's also some wiring here for the lights, but I think I got it. And instead of going all the way through the axle, I think there's thread inside this fork. Oh, that's a first for me. Oh, I think I got it. And there's the second mudguard, still with a completely intact, almost new looking mud flap. Huh. I might install this on my Ultra bicycle, although it does say Gazelle. I don't think the Ultra bicycle will appreciate the Gazelle branding. Maybe I should also save the front fork. It might be useful for when I crash into a tree again. I had some experience with that, you know. I just removed most of the solid brake linkage, and especially this fastener over here, this shallow fastener, was kind of hard to unscrew, because, well, it's kind of hard for the spanner to grab onto that shallow head. But I guess this means I'm going to save the handlebar, because my Gazelle Solide also has solid brake linkage. So I guess some spare parts won't hurt. Yeah, well, that one was pretty stuck. Not terribly stuck, but it was stuck. And I guess now I'm going to find out if the stem is stuck inside the fork. And I don't think so. As you can see, I managed to get the handlebar loose. And I don't think I need to save this light, because it is not original. Because it says Magneet on the light here. And that's a different brand. Actually, that's an old Dutch brand. But I think this might be a reproduction coming from China. They probably bought the rights for using that name. It probably was installed at the same time when I also installed that new dynamo. They probably fixed the lighting on this bicycle at some point. The outer cable from the Sturmey Archer shifter is still intact. It is not broken anywhere, so I will save that. Just like I will save this this handlebar with all of the solid brake linkage. I've already taken off the carrier, and the last thing I want to remove from this frame is this fork. Oh, and maybe I'm also going to try and save the bottom bracket if I can. That's kind of weird. So I brought the camera a bit closer so you can have a look at this spring in here. This leaf spring or coil spring. I don't know what to call it. Maybe it's the bicycle equivalent of a steering dampener, like the thing you would find on a motorcycle. Now how do I take this off? I guess I need to use some pliers, because I cannot do it by hand. Yeah, it moved. Huh. Is it some kind of automatic adjustment for the headset bearings? Maybe somebody knows. Please put it in the comments, because I'm at a loss here. How do I get this off? I guess that's how you get it off. No. Oh yeah, it does move up. Although at the same time the fork moves down, so it kinda looked like it wasn't moving up. But it is coming out. And underneath her there's the headset bearing. And with that, I'm basically done with the disassembly of this Gazelle Special. Alright, next I'm going to bring in my Gazelle Solide and try to fix the problem with the crank arm. So here's my old Gazelle Roadster with its missing crank arm. And apparently I got some ass fungus again. But yeah, I will probably survive. It's kinda hard to ride a bicycle like this, but it shouldn't be too hard to fix this problem now that I have the spare parts from the Gazelle Special. This is the original crank arm that is fucked up. It's a bit rusty. Unfortunately, the replacement crank arm doesn't look a whole lot better. The pedal does spin a whole lot nicer. No dirt. feel the burn. God. I don't want this thing to come loose again. Well, that's as tight as I'm going to get it. Originally this was a silver cap, but I got a black one and I will settle for a black one for now. Let's put those euro coins to work again. Installed. And now I can continue using this bicycle. This thing is heavy for me to lift with one hand. Alright, I'm pretty much done. I should really replace the crank arm on the other side with this one with the chain ring. It also needs a new chain and probably also a new cog, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Tomorrow I will continue using this bicycle, and some other day I will replace the whole drivetrain. Alright, that's it. Like, subscribe, yada yada yada. And well, I guess it won't continue for the Gazelle Special. Impossible. So if nobody is going to stop me, then here come the sparks. I installed a brand new disc for maximum reach. If anybody knows how to remove this cartridge from this bottom bracket, please put it in the comments. So, that's nice and compact and should fit easily in the blue scrap metal container.